Lila stood frozen. Orange juice slid down Sophie's white designer dress. The whole glass had fallen from Lila's shaking hand. Sophie screamed, loud enough for the whole living room. "Sophie, are you blind or just stupid?" Lila, softly. "Madam, I'm so sore." Sophie cut her off. "Don't call me madam. You are just a maid. Do you even know how much this dress costs?" Her three rich friends sat on the white sofa and watched like it was a show. Grace laughed. "These people don't know how to live in a rich house." Mia added, "Why do you even keep her, Sophie? Get a better maid." Lila's eyes filled with tears. Her hands shook. She stared at the floor. She whispered, "I'll clean it right now." Sophie grabbed Lila's hand and pushed it away. "Don't touch me with your cheap hands. Go pack your things. You're fired." She pointed toward the main gate. "And I want you out of my house. Out. Stand at the gate and wait for your little bus or whatever you take." Lila's heart broke, but she stayed quiet. Her world was falling, but she still tried to be respectful. The camera zooms in on her wet eyes, on her shaking lips, on Sophie's cold, angry face. The narrator. She didn't know, the same gate where she was being thrown out was the gate where karma was already waiting. Soft music. Big modern mansion. Laughter. Expensive bags. Shiny cars parked outside. Inside, Sophie sat like a queen at the center of her friends. Designer dress. Diamond earrings. Perfect makeup. Sophie proudly, "Daniel is closing a big deal today. If it works, we'll buy a villa by the sea." Grace. "Wow, you're so lucky." Mia. "Rich life suits you, Sophie." Lila moved quietly behind them with the tray. Juice glasses. Napkins. Simple shoes. Old scarf. She tried to walk steady, but her fingers were tired. She had been up since 5 a.m., cooking and cleaning. The floor was shiny, like glass. Her worn shoe slipped a little. The tray shook. In slow motion, one glass slid, fell, and orange juice poured over Sophie's dress. Everyone gasped. Sophie jumped up. "What have you done?" she shouted. Her voice echoed in the big hall. Lila stepped back. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I lost balance. I'll clean it. Please don't be angry." Sophie looked at her friends. Then she smirked. "Look at her," Sophie said, loud on purpose. "She grew up in a small dirty house, and now she wants to serve in my mansion. Of course she can't handle it." Grace giggled, covering her mouth. Mia took out her phone, pretending to text but watching like it was drama. Sophie leaned closer to Lila. "You know what the problem is," she said. "People like you don't know your place. You should be grateful we even let you stand on these marble floors." Lila's lips trembled. She wanted to explain. She wanted to say, "I didn't sleep, I am just tired, my mom is sick." But her voice didn't come out. Sophie pointed at the stain. "This dress cost more than your whole year's salary," she shouted. "And you spoiled it in 1 second. Useless girl." Lila's tears finally fell. Sophie's friends watched, silent. Not one person stood up for Lila. The narrator. "If you were sitting on that sofa, would you stay quiet? Or would you stop Sophie?" Sophie clapped her hands once. "Rahim," she called loudly. "Rahim." The older security guard hurried inside. "Yes, madam." "Take this maid to her room," Sophie said. "Tell her to pack everything. I don't want to see her in this house after 1 hour. She will stand at the gate and wait for someone to pick her up." Rahim looked at Lila with sad eyes. "Madam, maybe it was an accident." Sophie shot him a cold look. "Do you work for me or for her?" she snapped. Rahim went quiet. He looked down. Lila wiped her tears with the corner of her scarf. She whispered, "It's okay, Rahim, bye. I'll go." She turned away, walking slowly, her shoulders heavy. Behind her, Sophie sat back down, flipping her hair. "Some people only understand when you teach them a lesson," she told her friends. But she didn't know. Someone else was coming to teach her a much bigger lesson. Lila packed in silence. A small bag. 2 simple dresses. A photo of her and her sick mother. Some medicine she had bought with the last of her salary. Her hands shook as she folded her clothes. Voiceover, soft. She had worked in that house for 3 years. Never late. Never lazy. Never disrespectful. But one small mistake, and suddenly she was useless. She remembered the first day she came. Daniel, Sophie's husband, had said kindly, "We need someone we can trust. If you work hard, you will always have a place here." But now he wasn't home. and she had no one to speak for her. Lila whispered to herself, I can't lose this job. Mama's medicines, my brother's school fees. Her tears dropped on the little photo in her hand. Rahim knocked softly on the door. Lila, he said, voice low. Madam is very angry today. Please don't say anything. Just go for now. Maybe sir will talk to her when he comes back. Lila looked up, her eyes red. Where will I go, Rahim Bhai? She asked. I sent all my money home. I don't even have enough for the bus. He sighed. I will give you something, he said. But you cannot stand inside. Madam told me to take you to the gate. Lila nodded. She didn't want to put Rahim in more trouble. They walked through the long hallway, past the big mirror, past the shining stairs, past the living room where Sophie was laughing again with her friends, as if nothing happened. Lila kept her eyes on the floor. As they reached the main door, Sophie's voice floated out. Did you see her face when I fired her? Sophie joked. She looked like someone stole her last piece of bread. All the girls laughed. Lila's heart cracked a little more. The sun was bright outside. The ground was hot under her thin shoes. Rahim opened the big iron gate slowly. He turned to her and pressed some money into her hand. It's not much, he said, but you can at least get to the bus stand. Lila's eyes filled again. Thank you, she whispered. You're the only one who is kind to me in this house. Rahim swallowed hard. You're a good girl, he said. You don't deserve this. She stepped outside the gate. The heavy iron door shut behind her with a loud sound. Thud. It felt like her whole life had shut with it. She stood on the side of the road with her small bag. Cars passed. Dust blew in her face. She looked back at the mansion walls. Maybe I am useless, she thought. Maybe I really don't belong anywhere. A long, silent moment. Then, in the distance, a black luxury car turned onto the street. It slowed as it came closer to the gate. The narrator. She thought her story was ending at that gate. But, actually, something much bigger was starting. The black car stopped right in front of Lila. The back window rolled down. Inside, Daniel sat in a suit, looking at some papers. Next to him, an older man with kind eyes. In the front seat, another rich man was on a phone call. The driver spoke. Sir, there is someone standing at the gate. Daniel looked up. Lila, he said, shocked. Why are you outside? Are you going somewhere? Lila's heart started beating fast. Sir, she whispered. Madam, she fired me. Daniel's eyebrows pulled together. What? Why? Before she could answer, the man with kind eyes leaned forward. He stared at Lila. His eyes widened. Lila, he said, voice breaking. Lila, is that you? Lila blinked in surprise. Sir, do I know you? She asked. He smiled, but his eyes were wet. It's me, he said. Eli Carter. You took care of me in the orphanage. You used to call me, Little Eli. Memories flashed in Lila's mind. A small boy with torn shoes. A hungry child she used to share her bread with. She gasped. Eli, she whispered. You're that Eli? He nodded, tears running down his face now. You were the only one who was kind to me, he said. You gave me food when I was starving. You told me I could become someone one day. Daniel looked between them, confused. Wait, Daniel said. Mr. Carter, this is the same Lila who helped you? Eli wiped his eyes. Yes, he said. This is the woman who saved my life when I was a child. The driver quickly opened the door. Eli stepped out and went to Lila. He held her hands gently. Why are you standing outside the gate with a bag? He asked. Who did this to you? Lila looked down. I work in this house as a maid, she said softly. Madam Sophie, she was angry. I dropped juice by mistake. She fired me. She told me to stand outside and go away. Eli's face changed. The softness in his eyes turned to fire. In this house, he repeated. Just then, the big gate opened again. Sophie and her friends were coming out, laughing, ready to take selfies near the cars. She saw the car. She saw Daniel. And then she saw Eli standing with Lila. Her smile froze. Daniel, she asked. You're back already? Daniel's face was hard. Yes, he said. And it looks like we came at the right time. Eli turned to Sophie. Are you Sophie? He asked, voice calm but cold. She straightened her dress. Yes, I am, she said. And you must be Mr. Eli Carter. We've been waiting for you. My husband said you are an important investor. Eli nodded slowly. Yes. I was ready to sign a very big deal with your husband today. He paused. But on the way in, I saw something much more important than money. Sophie's throat went dry. Grace whispered to Mia, "What is happening?" Eli pointed at Lila gently. "Do you know who this woman is?" he asked Sophie. Sophie rolled her eyes. "She's just a maid," she snapped. "She ruined my dress. I have the right to fire her. Is there a problem?" Eli's jaw tightened. "She is not just a maid," he said. "She is the reason I am alive today. When I was a homeless child, she fed me. She protected me. Without her, I would not be standing here as a successful businessman." Sophie's face went pale. Daniel stared at his wife. "You fired her for one mistake?" he asked slowly. "Without even talking to me?" Sophie stuttered. I didn't know. I mean, how was I supposed to know she is someone special?" Eli shook his head. "That's the problem," he said. "You think only rich people are special. You think only expensive dresses matter. People like her are invisible to you." Silence. Cars passing. Wind blowing dust around their feet. Eli looked at Daniel. "Daniel," he said, "I was ready to trust you with my money. But how can I trust a family that throws out the woman who once saved my life? How you treat the weakest person in your house shows me who you really are." Daniel swallowed. His eyes were full of shame. "Mr. Carter, I am so sorry," he said. "I did not know. I promise I will fix this." Eli held up his hand. "I am not angry at you yet," he said. "But I am very disappointed in your wife." He turned to Sophie. "Apologize," he said. "Right now. In front of everyone. From your heart. Or I walk away from this deal forever." Sophie looked at her friends. They were stunned. She had always been the queen. Now she stood at the gate like a child being scolded. Her lips trembled. She spilled juice on my dress," Sophie said weakly. "It was expensive. I just lost my temper." Eli's eyes were sharp. "Your dress can be cleaned," he said. "But do you know how hard it is to clean a broken heart?" The words hit her like a slap. Her eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she really looked at Lila. She saw the tired eyes, the small bag, the photo of a sick mother in her hand. Sophie's voice broke. I'm sorry, Lila," she whispered at first. Then louder, "I'm sorry. I should not have spoken to you like that. I was wrong. Please forgive me." Lila looked at her, shocked. "Madam," she whispered. Daniel stepped closer. "Lila," he said, "I trusted you more than anyone in this house. I am ashamed of what my wife did. If you are willing, please come back. Not as just a maid, but as house manager. Higher salary. More respect. You will not answer to Sophie anymore. You will answer only to me." Sophie gasped. "Daniel," she cried. He turned to her. "You need to learn respect, Sophie," he said. "From today, your shopping carts are blocked. No parties for a while. You will spend your time helping at the shelter my company supports. Maybe then you will understand how hard life is for people like Lila." Sophie burst into tears. "I deserve this," she said. "I was cruel. I'm sorry." Eli placed a gentle hand on Lila's shoulder. "You don't have to accept," he told her. "You can come work with me if you want. I will pay you more. You will live with dignity." Lila's eyes overflowed. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel small. She didn't feel useless. She looked at the mansion. She looked at Daniel, truly sorry. She looked at Sophie, crying and shaking. Then she looked at Eli. "In the orphanage," she said softly, "I used to tell you to forgive people who hurt you, remember?" Eli smiled through his tears. "Yes, you did." Lila took a deep breath. "I will come back," she said. "But not because I need them. I will come back because this house also has good people like Rahim Bai, and Sir Daniel, and because maybe, Madam Sophie can change." Sophie sobbed harder. "I will change," Sophie said. "I promise. Please, give me a chance." Lila nodded slowly. Eli turned to Daniel. "Take care of her," he said, pointing at Lila. "She is more valuable than any contract." Daniel nodded. Eli looked at Sophie one last time. "Remember," he said, "you were ready to throw her out at this gate. One day, someone could throw you out of their life the same way. Never forget how this feels." He got back into the car. As the car drove away, Sophie watched with wet eyes. The same gate that had felt like Lila's end, now felt like Sophie's lesson. Rahim opened the gate again. "Come," he said to Lila, smiling. "House manager should not stand in the sun." Lila took a deep breath and stepped back inside, her back straight, her heart a little lighter. The narrator, to the viewer. Have you ever seen someone treat workers like they are nothing? Maybe you stayed quiet. Maybe you looked away. But remember this. The way we treat people who serve us, clean for us, drive for us, shows who we really are. One day, money, clothes, and cars will not matter. But every word we spoke to someone weaker will come back to us. Respect everyone, because karma is always standing at the gate.